Sam and Rev, and we're traveling from Michigan City in Indiana to Hammond, Indiana, which is south of Chicago, and for a fuel and overnight stop and trying to get into downtown Chicago.
When we left Michigan City, right as we were leaving the marina and the channel, there was this big, what was it? A machine. Dredging? I think they were dredging.
Yeah, it was a dredging machine, yeah, and we couldn't go out the normal way, so they waved us off, and we got out of there.
Yeah, they helped us out to make sure we could go an alternate route and wouldn't get stuck in the
Yeah, so we just went
mud.
dead slow and watched the depth, and we were just fine.
Right.
The Navionics and the Garmin showed the depth was good, and it cross-checked inside, so we were just fine.
And once we got out there, it was really nice.
Yeah.
The Lake Michigan was pretty much laid down, and as much as we've ever seen it, and we were able to have a very nice cruising day.
Yeah, it was so nice. As a matter of fact, is I got tied up doing some, as Rev calls it, secretary work, trying to get us into downtown Chicago rather than going to Hammond. We had intended to go to Hammond to fuel up because gas was very inexpensive, $2.99 a gallon at Hammond, and then on to Chicago so we could go to downtown Chicago. A lot of energy went into that. Well, we did find out that our AIS works.
It works great.
It
and
works.
how do we know?
And we know because we got an alert of a big freighter coming toward us. And of course, we slowed down, let the freighter pass.
Yeah.
But we got hailed from the freighter. We got an AIS warning right at the same time. And we weren't that close, but it was alarming. So AIS does work, and so we're happy at that we did get to test it out.
Very good to know.
Got into Hammond, and it was went to the Horseshoe.
Yes, we fueled up first, and if you're going into that marina, just know there's only one diesel pump. So we had to wait to get in there to get our fuel before we got into our slip. But yeah, the marina is right on at a Horseshoe casino, and so if you're into gambling, that might be a place you want to stay.
Yeah. Marina office is very far from where we docked. So we docked, we went to the marina office and got all the information for that. Went back to the Horseshoe Cafe or Horseshoe Casino and went to the buffet and had a buffet dinner there. But the highlight of the whole trip was getting to Chicago.
Right.
We couldn't get into downtown Chicago because everybody was filled up there. So we stayed there with the intentions of going through the downtown Chicago route, and we'll show you exactly what we tried to do to try to figure it out. The height on the bridge at 320.4 mile marker was the limiting factor, and so we constructed a pole to put on the front of the boat, but we'll tell you a little bit more about that. So we went to downtown Chicago. Do you want me to tell them the best way to get to downtown Chicago?
Sure. From Hammond?
All right, from Hammond, yeah. The best way to get to downtown Chicago from the Hammond Marina is to walk over to the Horseshoe Casino and get either a Lyft or an Uber to take you to the 63rd Street station on the Red Line. And from the Red Line, you take the Red Line all the way to Lake and get off at Lake, and you're right in the middle of the loop and a couple of blocks from the Michigan Avenue Bridge and the Chicago River.
Yes. I don't know what keeps happening to us, but when we were in New York City, it was foggy. And when we were in Chicago, it was foggy. But we went down to take the architectural tour. So rather than taking our boat through downtown and seeing everything from our boat and having to dodge ferries and taxis and everything else that's on the water, we took the architectural tour, saw and learned everything about the buildings that are there. We turned around. It was an hour and a half tour. We turned around right as the industrial section started. So we saw the very best part of Chicago. And as the fog lifted, we could start seeing buildings as well. So all in all, it satisfied that. And again, well, I don't know if again, we have been to Chicago before, so we have seen that excitement. In your planning, you might want to take that into consideration. If you've never been to Chicago, try to get to the marina that is the closest.
Which is DuSable.
Oh,
and then
okay.
if you can't get to that one, Burnham Harbor.
Okay.
We couldn't get into either one because of the timing on it. It was great weather the couple days before. But let me tell you a little bit about that tour. Was Wendella Tours, which is right there. You could go to the Billy Goat Tavern.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Billy Goat Tavern. We went there, and then from there do the tour. Highly recommend Wendella Tours. Well, I could tell them a little bit about why we didn't go the downtown Chicago route in the boat.
Do it.
All right. Here's why. We had measured for that 17-foot, 17.6 inch clearance on the bridge at mile marker 320.4, and we measured almost with a micrometer the height of our boat, which at the top of it was the Garmin radar. So we constructed a pole and put it on the front of the boat, and we're all ready to do it. But then rain started coming, and we watched the gauges fluctuate over 1.5 feet in less than a day. And so we pretty much said, you know, we don't need that drama, because that bridge is 6 miles down the Chicago River. And if we couldn't get under it, then we would have to turn around and come 6 miles back. So we decided to go the Cal-Sag route. So a lot of planning and drama went into it, but we were glad to not have the drama going.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So after we did that tour, we went back to Hammond and had a really nice time there. There were several loopers there. We're all bunching up here because there are 3 locks that are giving us trouble that are south of the Chicago area. So anyway, I feel like we're seeing a lot more loopers than we normally have in the past.
It's definitely starting to get congested. On our app called Nebo, we see all the loopers there, and so we'll see how it works out in the days to come. So
yeah.
All
right, but that was a great trip.
Yeah,
great trip to Chicago.
Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and hit the bell to get notified when we put out a new video. We are really, energized by people who have seen our videos and are thinking about doing the Great Loop, and we get contacted by quite a few folks on there. So reach out to us and enjoy the videos.
It means a lot to us.
Yeah.
The kind words.
Yes.
The not so kind words don't, but
Hey, we're doing this. We're not professionals, but we are trying to communicate what we have learned on the Great Loop.
Right.
Thanks for joining us. Bye.